Hello and welcome back to the DreamHack Showdown Summer 2020. I'm Frankie Ward and I have my wonderful analysts Sapphire and Potter, and I've got to check in on the ladies, of course, because it's the polite thing to do given that they're in America. Sapphire going into our fourth series, our eighth of the tournament. How are you holding up?
Yeah, we're hanging in 10:30 a.m. I woke up at midnight. I got some delivery food during that last match. I had to take my phone out and watch the last map or round. Of course, the driver comes then, but I think I'm ready to go. That was an energizing series, and I'm excited for this final series.
Sapphire, I'm slightly concerned. I saw the picture. It was full on carbs. It looked absolutely filthy, and I'm very, very jealous. But that kind of food, it does put me to sleep. Potter, what have you been eating?
Actually, I've just been drinking coffee, so I'm very wired up at the moment, ready to go, ready to see this last series into action. And I have to agree with Heather, that last match, just the quality of the headshots, the quality, like passing the eye test way past my expectations, the skill level of these ladies, it definitely woke me up even more than the coffee.
I'm really disappointed that I asked you that question, Potter, because I knew the answer. It was the most obvious thing I've heard all weekend. We're going to look at the bracket and see where we are, because as mentioned earlier, we've already said goodbye to a few teams, and now we have to say goodbye to one more. But is it going to be Arcane Wave or is it going to be DeftFox? Well, it's a rematch, Sapphire. So remind us of the last time that we saw these two teams face off.
So these two teams faced off yesterday in the opening series of the tournament. We had some expectations for Arcane to do well there, and they got 6 rounds on T side of Train, which is usually pretty acceptable, but they suffered on CT side pretty poorly, lost 16-8. And then in the next map, besides Poland pulling off a few hero plays, they got slaughtered on Dust 2. It was a 16-5 loss. So they really struggled. We didn't think they'd do much today against Giants, but turns out they won 2-1. So maybe Arcane does have something after all.
They seem to be very disrespectful of their opponents, which I kind of love to see on the server, Potter. But do you think that's going to have much of an effect against DeftFox?
You know, I hope so. And I have to agree with you, that sort of disrespect, it's definitely come into somewhat of fruition. We've seen Poland having that auto sniper on multiple occasions. I'm not a fan. I gotta be honest. I'm not the biggest fan. I don't think that it provides the biggest win condition for this squad, as much as that weapon costs and as much as you have to kind of have your teammates play for you with that weapon. It definitely, I'm just not a fan.
I'm just thinking about the PP.
Of course you are, Frankie. Of course you are.
Why does Poland also buy a PP Bison? We've seen it a couple of times this tournament. I don't understand, Sapphire. Why? I know it's got good armor penetration now, but it still feels like a meme pick, and it's happening middle of the half.
It is a meme pick. It is. I get, Valve has done a good job making a purpose for many of the alternate weapons that Potter and I did not use in our day, but the PP, I don't know. I have no answers for that.
Not in my day.
Yeah.
What do you make of the turnaround, though, that we did see earlier with Arcane Wave in terms of the T side, Sapphire?
Yeah, I mean, Julka, incredible. Like, she's just coming out firing. Same with Angie too. Like, incredible entries. They put their team in a really early win position, and that's what we did not see on the first day. So they're already looking better than they were before.
And Potter, you are our AWP expert. I'm curious to see what you think about Angie's AWPing style, because it seemed like Giants were terrified of her when she was holding that outside position on Nuke earlier today. But I have a feeling Victoria's not going to be quite so scared.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Victoria has shown that sort of, I guess, courage, bravery in those tense moments where sometimes the best decision in that moment that you think is to play it safe. But Victoria, it seems like she's thrown that out the window on a lot of occasions, and she's capitalized on that risk taking on a lot of occasions. For the side of Angie, I've also been impressed. She does seem like a little bit more maybe mature is the right word, mature in those instances, choosing to play to the more higher percentage plays. But that presence in itself, even though on the stats side of things, she's not always just hard carrying, it provides enough value, I think, within that server.
Sapphire, if pistols are okay for Arcane Wave, I think we saw them win a few rounds earlier. Okay. Yeah, for DeftFox, they don't seem to really be much of a winner, at least in those opening rounds. Do you think it's the fault of their coach, or do you think it's more of an individual issue?
Yeah, he took the blame himself. But it does come down to the individuals in server are the ones actually executing the strat, and they need to adjust, and they weren't adjusting properly. So might be an issue, might allow Arcane to get up to an early lead.
Well, let's find out what Twitch chat is saying. We're going to reveal what you need to know to cast your vote, and it's a hashtag, and they're going to appear on screen right now. So hashtag DFX if you're thinking that it's going to be DeftFox, and hashtag ACW if you're saying Arcane Wave. Just putting the cat amongst the pigeons now. These are teams that like to take duels. They like to go toe-to-toe. If it was a 5v5 situation, each of them has to take on a 1v1. Who is going to win in that completely hypothetical fantasy scenario, Sapphire?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Basically, Arcane. Who's got the best firepower?
Julka. They got Julka. She's insane.
But, that was a terrible question from me, but
yeah.
in terms of like just firing prowess stuff, I was like, yes, it was. Who would win, do you think, just on sheer firepower alone?
I have to go with DeftFox here. I have to go with DeftFox. Just, on paper as well. Obviously, they had a very easy time, I have to say, yesterday. But also, as far as the eye test goes, when you watch the individuals on these players, it just seems like the individuals on DeftFox, they seem to be a lot more comfortable within that server. We've already seen Arcane Wave coming out, showing the jitters, showing just turtled up play, not being willing to go out and explore and gather more information. Whereas the DeftFox ladies, it just seems they're more comfortable in that server. Maybe the trust system, maybe they've been playing with each other just a lot longer, but I could definitely sense that, I think.
Well, let's look at the veto. Let's look at the maps that we're going to see. Last time these two teams played each other, it was Train, Dust 2 and Mirage, but we never got as far as Mirage. So I'd be curious to see whether the ladies of Pearl and the Arcane Wave want to play things differently, take us to Nuke maybe. So we're seeing Inferno and Dust 2 ban. That's not really too much of a surprise. Sapphire leaning in.
Yeah, I'm leaning in. They did take Giants to OT and won on Nuke. Oh, they're not seeing that. Mirage makes sense for Arcane, definitely.
DeftFox with Overpass. Have we seen them play that yet?
Overpass pick. Train. That's interesting. I totally expected DeftFox to be coming in and picking out that Train. It would have been their third time. Third time's a charm, perhaps. But I also like the curveball here. That Train, it's still going to be in this series regardless of the third map decider. But picking Overpass, kind of throwing a curveball perhaps as well, because I think Arcane Wave probably expected that Train to be picked as well.
And we did see DeftFox play Overpass against Originum. It's just hard to sort of get a feel for what their Overpass is, because Originum, the issues on that map were their own. It wasn't really because of DeftFox, in my opinion. Sapphire, would you agree?
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of, what we've been talking about. Originum starts off slow. A lot of the events get a little too confident, play a little too loose, and they gave up a lot of free rounds. So I don't know if that's necessarily, DeftFox win there as much as Originum almost beat themselves.
All right, Sapphire, what's your prediction then?
This is tough. Like Potter said, they do have a very well-rounded team on DeftFox, but I came into yesterday saying Arcane, and I was wrong. I'm gonna try Arcane again.
Okay, Potter.
Heather hasn't learned. To be fair, I haven't learned yet either, but I'm moving on. I do have to agree. My expectations are still there. Julka seems like a really exciting player to watch, as well as Olivka, as well as just every member on the Arcane Wave side. But I'm going DeftFox here all the way, 2-0.
The thing is, Potter, if you'd said it was going to be Arcane Wave, then I would panic, because every time you said that Arcane Wave were going to close down a round in your cast earlier, they lost it. You kept cursing them. But I'm also going to say DeftFox as well. I just think Victoria's AWP is a hard carry, and actually the rest of the players on DeftFox are still able to match her as well in prowess. So that's what I'm saying. But what is Twitch chat saying? Let's hear from the voice of Kappa God. I don't know what you call it. Okay, Arcane Wave 31%, DeftFox it is 69%. And I'm saying nothing except that we need to go to a break, because when we come back, we've got Veerless returning, and she's going to be joined by Harry to cast out the final series of the day.
Together, we try, we choose, we move, we'll find a way. Imagine, it's just a magic day. Hope it never ends. We are forever. There are so many ways. Try to make a change. Yeah, we got the power. So let's get started right now. We are, we can, we do. We can, we do, we are. You are, you can, you do. You can, you do, you are. You know we must go on to make a change. Believe me, today, tomorrow, every day we can imagine. So start to roll the dice, caught me by surprise. We can make it happen. We're on the path of life. Leave all bitter strife. Don't you let it drag you down. We are, we can, we do.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the DreamHack Showdown. My name is Fearless and I am joined here by the one and only Harry for the last game here of today. And it is DeftFox that is going to be facing off against Arcane Wave. And this is going to be interesting because we're going to be losing one of these two teams. So very, very exciting. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I kind of wanted to know what you make of this one, because I'll be honest, I haven't seen much of Arcane Wave. I know that on the opening day, they didn't get off to the best of starts necessarily, right? And in the rematch that this is, they lost that one reasonably convincingly, right? Yeah. Obviously, we got different maps, we got different cards on the table, as it were, but I've been really impressed with DeftFox, if I'm honest, right? Like, I think that they're like mid-round adjustments, and for me, they've been the most like tactically sound team, and the only thing that I think has been lacking has more so been in like the individuals stepping up once all the plan has kind of been laid out, and once they've thrown all the utility and things get a little bit hectic. That's the only time I feel like I've been let down by them. I've actually been really impressed by this squad. So for me, I'm looking at another DeftFox 2-0, but I want to know what you have to think, or say, I guess.
Yeah, well, surprisingly, I've seen like a 180-degree turn from Arcane Wave today. They are looking very, very promising. And it looks like we're about to head into our very, very first map. It's going to be Overpass, a very tactical and util map. This is going to be one very exciting map for sure. And Arcane Wave is going to be starting off here at the CT side, Team DeftFox on the T side. And it looks like 4 men already here towards connector and outer A. And Pollen is going to be sneaking into that connector. Very close and is met with a lot of action already. Angie is trying to follow up there as well. But it looks like Team DeftFox, they are going to be charging out towards B here.
Yeah, DeftFox, they really impressed me on this map versus Originum, and they're already off to a good start here in this pistol round. There was a triple stack in connector, and you wouldn't have known if it wasn't for the 3 dead bodies that just litter this stairwell. That was a great, like, dealing with this problem. That would have been a very, very glaring issue. It felt like Arcane Wave, like, they had the read, they had the right positions, but when it came to actually dealing with it, DeftFox just came in swinging. The Mad6 is all alone in a 1v5. This is undoable, even with the kit that she's been able to retrieve. She knows this one's too far gone, so she's got to bow one out. DeftFox, they find the pistol, they get off to a good start, and that's a nice little treat for them on the T side of their map pick.
Yeah, I mean, this is good. You know, they have the bomb planned. The extra money is always nice to have. Mad6 here. Gonna have that last cheeky kill there onto Victoria. But, of course, this is most likely gonna be an eco round now for them. Unless they have some balls and they want to go for Force by here.
Oh yeah, you know, it's always interesting to see our teams approach this second round, and yeah, they're just going to play it like nice and standard. You know, they just get a couple of upgrades here and there. It's a pretty heavy investment, actually, all things considered. So they might be looking at an eco in the follow-up round. Let's see if these upgraded pistols can show why they've been bought up, and that's a nice little pre-fire there from Maria, ready for the boost that was throwing in. That doesn't catch anyone by surprise. That's a bit of a double-edged sword as well, because you know now that there was another player down on the boost, and see, stuff like that, right? Like using the nade, flushing the player out of water, dealing with the heaven play. DeftFox seem to be very well orchestrated. I really love watching this team because they all feel like they're on the same page. And you know, there's even been moments from like the heavy favorites in this event thus far where you can tell that like in the chaos of these mid rounds, things do get very confusing. And occasionally, even like the best laid of plans go completely and utterly the other way. But with DeftFox, it just feels like everyone's so aware of what they're meant to be holding, where they're meant to be looking, like what their responsibilities are in the round. And so I'm really curious to see if Arcane Wave, after defeat last time, are able to come back into this and actually pick. Oh dear, hang on a moment. That was a nade stack into mid. Normally not the end of the world because it's just one kill, but that one kill was the bomb. Oh no, I'm just bigging them up for being like so tactically sound, and now this round has actually gotten a hell of a lot closer than it ever needed to be.
Oh, and look at this. Angie has managed to pick herself up that nice AK pull, and now also a Galil. And suddenly it's a 3 versus 2 as well. So this round has completely turned around, and it's looking so good now for Arcane Wave. They have the bomb, and they still have a flashbang left. Okay, this is kind of unfortunate. This bomb is now smoked, and just going to be spraying through it, hoping that it will connect onto someone. It will not. And Fatal will actually pick up the kill there onto Pollen. And of course, you need to be aware that the Arcane Wave players are not going to be coming to hunt you down. That's a nice nade onto Angie, down to 23 HP, and now they need to make a decision on what to be doing. Okay, and Fatal is still, of course, wary of her back. And now it's all into Mad6. She will need to do that with just a pistol. It looked so good for a second, but now suddenly it is kind of hard, and Fatal with that Mag 10. She will finish the round there, but that got way closer than it should have been.
Yeah, it really did, right? And with only 2 players surviving for DeftFox, that's going to cause them maybe some problems in the future. Like, they're still fine in terms of the money because they did get like this little 3-round head start thanks to that kind of slight investment in the second. But you know, you forced a good few reinvestments. Hindsight's 2020 and all, but in a way I would have loved to have seen Mad6 just go for that AK that was dropped in mid and just try to play around it, but I guess she didn't know the whereabouts of that short player. Look at this from the rear, man. The pace on this, oh my goodness. They were still running back with knives out. They weren't ready for an SMG to get up in their face. Mad6 is at least that she will deal with Maria on the aggression. So we're back into this 4-on-4, but DeftFox, they pulled the brakes. You know, they're fine with this. They've taken an early advantage in this round, and now they're set up in connector. Julka's going to have to answer for a hell of a lot here. She's down towards short, all alone. Angie, her teammate in the site, doesn't have a flash to help out, so she's got to come in with the peek, and she's only good for one. But how has Julka not been spotted? Thankfully, Victoria's there to get the trade, and we're into this 2-on-2. Poland's trying to rotate down. She's got the auto. I've heard some tales about this auto sniper, Fearless, and I like that we're seeing it pulled into the first buy round for Arcane Wave.
I mean, why not? You got the money, so I guess, you know, it's up for grabs now. And, well, the thing is, can she make it happen? She's going to be spraying through that site. And Team DeftFox, they're hearing it. They're scared. And Sue there, all the way towards short. And, yeah, the thing is, Victoria's kind of stuck in the site with an AWP. It's not very ideal. And Poland will find her with that auto sniper. Now a 1v1. Sue was kind of backing off, knowing that that auto sniper is coming to hunt her down. But it is Sue that is going to be winning that fight. Oh, and she picks up the auto sniper. Okay.
What is going on? This is madness. This is madness. Victoria's now got it. Okay, this is interesting. I like this, you know, like, well, it's not say I like it, you know, I want to see this all the time, but I like it right now with this 4-0 lead from DeftFox, and they say, hey, look, you know what, you want to try and be grimy, you want to try and bring that auto sniper in, well, we might make you regret that decision. There's going to be another nade stack here in middle. There was actually nades thrown from either side, and the players from DeftFox were so fast at getting into party that they dodged all the damage, and their nades just wreaked havoc on that line of Arcane Wave. So this round is already a great start. There's really now like very little risk in anything in this round, and with another kill going their way in a 5-on-3, they're in full control. It's not like the last time they ran into that nade stack. Now they've taken this one by storm.
Yeah, and DeftFox now very much spread out, using their util quite good, and I like that nice kill through the smoke there. Having a feeling that someone's gonna be sitting behind that one, and while there is a trade kill coming in from Mad6, but will it be enough? Oh, that took actually quite a lot of time before Elizabeth spotted out Angie there on short. She was just casually chilling there, but she couldn't quite connect the shot, and now Mad6 all alone on B. She does have a rifle, but in 1 versus 4, I'm not sure it's gonna happen, and I think that an AK on the CT side is very nice to have, so I think she might as well just save this one, especially now that Team DeftFox is going to be heading towards A instead of B. And maybe someone will come and hunt her down. She can maybe get a nice exit, you know, try and do a little bit more damage to their economy. But, well, actually, they're coming. Who knows? Can Mad6 escape from this? The answer is sadly no, and that means that Team DeftFox now have yet another round under their belt.
Oh, put yourself in Mad6's shoes, right? Like thus far in this game, of the four out of the 5 rounds that you've played, you've just been having to save and like to mixed results as well. Like that's it's not great in terms of like feeling out the momentum. You know, you just feel like thus far you haven't even had a chance to play because, you know, your teammates have been falling early on. There haven't been these trades that are so important. And really, we need to kind of see like these wrongs righted early on, because I think if you let DeftFox pick up like a bit of momentum, you let them get some confidence behind, as I keep saying, these very like tactically sound rounds, that's when this team looks so deadly. I think the only thing that we've seen DeftFox have a problem with is actually getting 16 rounds. They're great at getting 15 rounds or 19 rounds, but it's the confidence, I think, that lets this team down every now and again. And the individuals feel like in those high pressure moments, right, that's when they kind of fall apart. But if you never ever give them that little stumble, right, that little pushback, that bit of resistance where they start doubting themselves, I'm very, very scared of this squad. And already, you know, we do have a little bit opening things up over here in the toilets, at least. The only problem is she is trapped.
Oh, already this T side is looking so promising for Team DeftFox. Elizabeth yet with another kill. You know, after that, they kind of decide to regroup up here towards Toilet. Fatal with another one. And now, yeah, Mad6 now this time towards A, already feeling the heat and is hearing all the footsteps. And she's just going to be very, very patient, hoping that at least one person is coming her way. And that is the case. Sadly, not a second kill for her, but the auto sniper is still on his way. 2 versus 2 now. Pollen here on the car position and will take care of that auto sniper. And now 1 versus 2. Sue here hiding behind the side is gonna choose the high ground for this battle, but sadly not quite connecting the kill, and the time is running low. Oh, it's 5 seconds, and the question is, will she get it down? She can do it, and then she's actually running away. And she now needs to get back to the site to make sure that they have the first round. Oh, this is so scary now.
Oh, Casey, that was filthy. Okay, she takes out the first at truck, and yeah, you were bang on, right? Angie, she thought there was no time. And to be fair, like for a moment, I thought there was no time, and I'm sure you did as well, right? Like it looked like everything had kind of gone against Casey at the very, very end, but because she gets this one kill here, and then is able to retrieve that bomb, barrels into the site. She hears Angie rotating away, so she knows that there's not going to be a peek, right? There's no reason to have to fake the bomb there. That is such a devastating way to get so close in a round and then have it taken away from you. And this is where now we really have to see if Arcane Wave have like that mental fortitude to build back into this game. Because really, thus far, you think about the rounds that they've played, either they've just been so one-sided and they've been saving, and so you don't even get to feel like you played the round, or they've been extremely close like that, where you're left in the back of your head thinking, we really could have done it. Like we really could have got our first on the board and tried to build on up. And every time it's just been eluding them by the tiniest of margin.
Oh, Mad 6 is going to be pushing there just a little bit for the Molotov and hoping that she was able to get a kill there. Sadly not connecting, so she is just falling back a little bit and hoping that she can make her magic happen. Oh, and Olivka there getting sandwiched in the bathroom as DeftFox is coming from both ways. And now things are quite even once again. Max 6 still here with that AWP, holding the angle and hoping that people will walk her way very soon. And she's not wrong. Here we go. MRSK, they're the first one to fall in that bathroom. She spots the second one, and eventually she needs to turn around very, very quickly. Cannot connect a shot. It's all on to Colin now, and even she cannot do it. But Joker here on the car, though. 1 versus 2 is getting the first, and as soon as that smoke fades away, she makes sure that Arcane Wave now has the first round under the name.
Yeah, nice little 1v2, right? Just to slide that one over the line, puts up 3 in the round, and we kind of like needed a hero to emerge sometime soon, and we just got one there. Now, what I want to see in this round, because thus far it's been very, very close, like as we've said, and you know, you win that round with one player surviving. That's not ideal. Like you look at the money and you wouldn't even know that Arcane Wave won that round just then. They don't really have like a very formidable buy. I think in a round like this, you're really looking at someone like Angie to try and have a bit of impact with this AWP. Obviously, Joker made a real effort to hold on to that weapon, and thus far, we haven't really seen much from Angie with the AWP in hand. So if there ever was a time, it feels like it's now. And it looks like we might get a B play here from DeftFox. Now, 3 players in response, and they try and walk this smoke. Colin gets caught looking just the wrong way, and Fatal opens up with a double. Yesterday, she was a real monster in this B bomb site, and that there is continuing. She gives the entries up and over, and suddenly Arcane Wave, we've seen this one before, right? I'm getting deja vu. They've got no choice but to save.
Yeah, the money was already quite low going into this round, you know, having to rebuy that op for Angie. Very, very costly, and we had already 1 player on an SMG. Here we see the 2 last players alive onto 2 times of FAMAS. So it's not too great, but you definitely want to stick to those guns going into the next and hoping that you can make some magic happen with just solely those 2 rifles. Of course, we do have some loss bonus eventually building up, but after that 1 round win, for the next round, it's not going to be too much.
Terrorists win. Yeah, this leaves you in like a really weird spot. Because you might look at this and you might say, well, we got loss bonus, you know, like we could just take a partial investment around these FAMASes, or we could throw a force buy in, you know, drop some more FAMASes into play. You wouldn't have any M4s, which is why that's like a little bit ugly. And so I do like this decision, right? To like have some faith in your system and know that when you have everything you need, you can still pick up a round. You know, that shows you've kind of still got this belief. I always think that, you know, if you're a little overzealous in the force buys, you're either getting the rounds very, very close, or you're already not necessarily admitting defeat, but, you know, you're not like showing your best hand. And that's what we want to see. Mad6 tries to dodge the flash, and that's such a shame, man. The timing is just slightly off on that one, and now suddenly, and then here she's kind of hung out to dry. The real like idea behind that was to have her and Mad6 playing off of one another, but with Mad6 falling immediately, Olivia's responsibility shifted into trying to get that trade. And while she does get it, it's immediately cancelled out. Now, thankfully, you can take your hat off to Pollen there for delivering that kill and putting this back into a 3-on-3. And actually, DeftFox is going to fall back into this B site. Pollen's been spotted, and oh dear, she has somehow dodged her way out of the danger. Yeah, she was going to go back in for more, but she decides against it. She hears all the footsteps, but that is information. And now the rotations should come in from this A bomb site.
Well, smokes are going to be flying around. Joker is already here, though. He's going to be dropping here into that water, and Pollen needs to play around that pillar. Cannot make it happen. Joker now behind that smoke, and she will be found as well. Will actually get one for herself first, and now it's just on to Angie with that deagle. We've seen the magic happen before, and here we go. That's the first already. And Fatal now onto 80 health. So maybe one shot with a deagle, it could be enough. She's looking at the right angle, and she's gonna go flying, and sadly, that will not do it for her. And DeftFox will yet again win another round.
Oh, well, it was close again. That's the thing, right? Like, I feel like I still have yet to see Angie come alive. I like the confidence to just leap over, right? Like some kind of like leopard just leaping into the fray. No sign of slowing down, but sadly, yeah, they were ready for it. And, you know, I think with someone like Fatal on the other side, that's always such a safe pair of hands in those situations. You know, she doesn't lose those 1v1s. Olivia falls early on down here in Connector, and already that's a glaring problem. I can't think of one of these rounds where Arcane Wave have been able to take an advantage out of the gate. It feels like they're playing all of these rounds in a 4-on-5. And on Overpass, that can feel just so constrictive. You know, like you're having to split this defense up 2-2, and it's not so much a problem for this A side, right? That's pretty homely. Like you're used to having two players over here in A. It's B where it starts to cause problems, and it kind of gives you this idea that you have to push and you have to prod and you have to try and get this information. And the problem is like if it worked, then that would be great. But I feel like every single time they lean into a peak, DeftFox are already just waiting and raring to go to capitalize and extend these advantages even more. So now Mad6 with this AWP, gonna get one through the smoke. We need a bit more though, and oh, she don't see smokes right now. Mad6 a second, and that bomb has actually started to peel away, and that's because of Keisu. Look at her go into this B bomb site.
I'm not sure if she was hurt there, but I don't think so, because Joker is not looking her way, and that is a nice kill there for Keisu. And a Molotov there as well, and she cannot peek through heaven, and the time is low, so in order to stop the bomb plant, I don't think it will happen. Here we go, and another Molotov going into heaven, so Mad6, the second hopper there, will not really... Well, actually, with a little bit of a boost, she will be able to peek towards short. Oh, and actually, as Mad6 is, you know, she can just do her work there. And it's suddenly a 1 versus 1. And the thing is, though, look at Angie's health. She is so low, so one bullet, doesn't matter if it's in her toes, it will be enough to kill her. And that... Arcane Wave really needed that round. The money is not too great. So we're looking at, yeah, yet another pistol buy here for them. And a tactical timeout.
That's such a shame. You know, you thought Mad6 had done enough with these 2 kills through the smoke, even getting the third to open up that 2v1. The 2 players that I think have probably impressed me the most on this squad are that of, well, actually, I say 2. So I think Keisu's been really, really good in like clutch moments. But then in terms of like getting openers and getting these entries, I like Maria and Fatal. They've been great at doing that, especially on Overpass. Fatal was an absolute monster the other day on this map. And the fact that she's kind of gotten off to this rip-roaring start, and she is often the player to be finding these openings and, you know, making the magic happen, is a pretty scary sign. Because I'm looking down at Arcane Wave, and right now, I haven't seen anyone who feels like they can kind of contend with that. Mad6 is certainly making a case when we get to see her play the rounds, but it feels like DeftFox, they just managed to evade her every single time. And they're like leaning into the sites that she's not playing, which must feel very, very frustrating for her individually as well. This time, connector control once again. This has been like the bread and butter of DeftFox's T side. They love taking this con control to allow for these rotations between either site. They're holding on for the push at B. This is another example of Arcane Wave feeling this pressure to get information, to go for these, like, not necessarily hero plays in terms of putting up kills, but hero plays in terms of enabling rotations, maybe taking an advantage. And every time, DeftFox are just ready and waiting for it. This round was very, very quick. It just slipped by the wayside. It's a 10th on the board for DeftFox. At this point, I'm looking at Sapphire over on the desk, and I'm wondering, what did she see in this team right now? I feel like we need to see a little bit more from them, because this has been very, very one-sided thus far.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't want to count them out just yet. I mean, yesterday against Originum, we saw actually 11 rounds on the T side from DeftFox as well, and it looked so promising. We thought, okay, Team DeftFox is going to take this one very, very easily, and eventually we still saw a comeback happen, so never say never. Oh, and Angie here, good first pick, spots more, and that's the second one. Sadly, the third not connecting. They can safely escape as the smoke, you know, creates a little bit of a wall there in front of Angie. And the thing is, Keisu is now fully behind them. Will find a kill as soon as also Fatal finds Angie. So suddenly things are turned around, but the flanker gets flanked. Okay. So suddenly Arcane Wave is back into the round. Sadly, will not be able to connect that kill there onto Fatal. And things just keep going back and forth here into this round. And DeftFox just kind of take a little bit of a chill pill here. They decide to throw that Molotov towards B, kind of hope to keep at least one of the CTs there, and that's kind of what is happening. But Pollen is quite close to the connector, so if she needs to rotate, she can just very, very quickly go up towards that toilet. And Mad6 now here holding the angle with that up. And the time is low, so Victoria needs to make a move, needs to get that kill in order to still get the bomb down if she wants to. And here it is. She can now safely plant the bomb, but Pollen is already up for the flank.
Oh, no.
And she is off of the bomb, but she is able to still get that bomb down. She changed position. She now has a smoke up. And the question is she's gonna be expecting Pollen to be coming in from long?
Oh, she's cleared close. Oh, but she might think that Poland's wrapped the smoke, and that's not the case. So Poland will deliver the 1v1 needed to get this round over the line. And to be fair, I think a lot of this round does rest on the shoulders of Poland. Outside of that, you know, there were a bunch of like key plays in that round, and obviously the kills are important, right? Like Mad6 getting that kill onto the first player moving into A was huge, opening up that 1v1 at the end. Angie with the openers as well, and most importantly, dropping this bomb. But Poland made like a really big play that didn't necessarily have all the kills behind it, but what she did get was a lot of information. When there was that big like interaction over towards short, she wrapped in through Monster, and so even though DeftFox were throwing in utility into that B bomb site, she spotted that short was completely empty, and she saw the nades coming out of connector. So that was the whole reason that Mad6 was in the right place at the right time to give that 1v1 over. Poland did do a hell of a lot for her team just then, even though she didn't necessarily get all the kills behind it. Now in this round, Mad6 once more continues her good showing, shuts down another over here in connector, but this is something we've seen DeftFox do quite a bit. They just leave mid, and they almost give this side of the map over, and they move everyone up here through long. Now this is something that often, you know, you actually end up just catching your opponent off guard the first time you do it. This smoke has telegraphed that there's players moving up through long. So Arcane Wave have fallen back into the bomb site, but the push comes through the smoke, and there is a player in deep. Angie's still on the long angle, but she's got to watch out because inside of this bomb site, there's someone going by the name of Fatal, and oh, Angie, that's a sad sight indeed. She burns in the Molotov and leaves her team in a 3-on-3.
Oh, she was hoping that it wouldn't spread so far, but sadly it did. Oh, and Keisu once again there on that flank trying to make some magic happen, but things will get even out very soon enough. Juka getting a kill and Fatal in return, and she is hoping for more and sadly cannot do it. And the multi now into toilet might definitely help her out. Of course she knows it's planted for there, so she is watching, she is keeping an eye out. And it's not gonna be happening. Keisu will take the 11th round here for DeftFox, and the gap is just getting bigger by the round.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, you see that pressure, like, more and more of Arcane Wave feeling like they need to make a play. Like, it's almost like they're bloodlusting, you know? Like, they just want to get around, and they want to make it, like, an example of a round. You know, you want to win it defiantly with this aggression, with these plays. And really, it feels like in a similar fashion to when we saw Originum on this map, you know, that was their undoing there in the beginning, and it felt like it was overconfidence, whereas it's like a different essence this time. It's more like desperation to try and go for these big plays, these big moments, and every single time Arcane Wave are just getting betrayed by it. Like, once again there, Angie tried to go aggressive in through Monster because she wants that advantage. She knows that Keisu has been sitting on this side of the map alone 9 times out of 10. So she wanted to take that 1v1. But the problem is, not only did she not win it and leave her team in a 4-on-5, it just feels like maybe there was other ways you could go about doing that didn't require such like a gamble, you know, even a flash. Even if you had someone like Pollen, who's currently sat over towards short, throw the flash over Monster and play off of one another. And that's what we're kind of missing right now in amongst this need to try and get this first round on the board. Everyone's looking for the fights, and they're not necessarily going about it in the smartest of ways as a result. Whereas DeftFox, everyone's setting each other up. There's flashes for peaks, there's trades that are instant. And when you kind of look at it on like a team basis, DeftFox just looks so complete right now. And I'm not seeing the same thing from Arcane Wave, and that needs to change if they want to have any chance of coming back here on Overpass.
Yeah, and you can just see that Arcane Wave is so desperate to win a round, and you know, they force ball into this round. You can see what that does now. Money is low, and it is the last round here in the half. So yeah, I think like the way they went over that, you know, they were so desperate to get some round onto that scoreboard that it's like, okay, it's now or nothing, you know, we need to do it. Yeah, and it seems like just every single thing they're trying to keep their defense up, it's not gonna work. And now into this last round, we do see some weaponry still, limited util on some players. It could be enough definitely to make a round happen, but against AKs and an AWP, it's not gonna be easy. We know that Victoria can be an absolute beast with that big green gun. So very interesting to see. She's gonna head actually with the bomb towards B, and we do see Angie pushing that with a FAMAS, but she's not gonna be expecting Victoria to be there, and sadly she will get caught off guard. And at the same time, you know, we have some nice map control here of DeftFox. We have a player over on long. We see Mariah here into that toilet getting 1 kill, almost a second. And you know, there is still a chance here for Arcane Wave. They still have 3 men alive here. Joka is feeling a little bit of that heat as soon as she spotted a player there. And look again, Matt6 here trying to grab some info. Is actually hearing the footsteps there of Fatal, and she will... Oh, she will go back? No, she won't. And Matt6 is spotting her, so she has the info now. And you can see what that does with the other 2 CTs that are still alive. And Colin is not gonna wait. She's just gonna brutally rush into that monster, hoping to kind of maybe catch them with nades in her hands and lining up for some util, but it's not gonna happen. And Matrix now leaving to clutch this one out. Well, that's the first at least. She will throw Molotov into that water. Will definitely do a little bit more of damage onto Fatal, onto 26 health. She needs to get on the bomb. She cannot find it though. It's in the smoke. And the time is gonna be taken away, and she still needs to find both players. And she will find Matt6, or she will find Elizabeth, but it's not gonna happen. And look at this. A gap of 11 rounds here into the second half. Well, it's definitely gonna be a tough one here for Arcane Wave to catch up, but we will check that out right after the break, so stay with us.
Trailblazing cowboy, driving my cattle out west. I'm a rootin' tootin' trailblazing cowboy, doing what I do best. I'm a rootin' tootin' trailblazing cowboy, driving my cattle out west. I'm a rootin' tootin' trailblazing cowboy, doing what I do best. I'm a chap wearing saddle, shining cow, branding fire, building lasso, throwing sharp, shooting cowboy. A whiskey drinking, grub eating, bean chewing, pistol loading, cattle herding, spur wearing cowboy. Just a rootin' tootin' trailblazing cowboy, driving my cattle out west. I'm a rootin' tootin' trailblazing cowboy, doing what I do best. I'm a chap wearing saddle, shining cow, branding fire, building lasso, throwing sharp, shooting cowboy. A whiskey drinking, grub eating, bean chewing, pistol loading, cattle herding, spur wearing cowboy. Just a rootin' tootin' trailblazing cowboy, driving my cattle out west. I'm a rootin' tootin' trailblazing cowboy, doing what I do best. Doing what I do best. Rootin' tootin' trailblazing cowboy, driving my cattle out west. We will stand our ground.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back here at this last match here of today. It's Arcane Wave against Team DeftFox, and look at this. They are behind by 11 rounds, so they have a lot of making up to do, and I'm here joined by Harry. So, Harry, tell me how this round will go down.
Oh, well, I'm using all my analytical might here. It's looking like a B play, if I've ever seen one. They're rushing on in. Arcane Wave, they're keeping it simple. They're keeping it fast, and they go barreling through. But Fatal, 6 in her name, 6th sense in the game. She's already come in on this monster flank, and she's now behind enemy lines. That's like, yeah, it's all well and good. However, problem with being behind enemy lines is you kind of want to be in the enemy lines to defuse this bomb, and no one's found a kill yet. This is a very weird round right now. There's the silence getting broken by Maria, but Olivia decides enough is enough, and she takes back short control of the Fatal. Oh dear! She goes up and isn't expecting the second player. Elizabeth left in the clutch, 1v2. Smoke on the bomb. She has a kit as well. She's tapped it, and they might not expect the stick. They can't find her. Knife out, and oh no, she's got it, and she's alive. How's she alive? They finally deal with her, but
Oh my god.
that's the defuse. That's wild. Just runs into the smoke. I do love that, right? If you're the kit player with the smoke, that was like by design. They knew that was something they could do.
Yeah.
And then it's so often that like in those pistol rounds, you hear someone tap the bomb, and initially you just assume it's a fake, especially in that kind of situation. You don't anticipate that they're the one with the kit, and she is, and she gets the defuse as a result. So a really heartbreaking way to be denied this comeback early on. And really, because that pistol round can just spell the end of the game now. If they don't find this, it's all over.
Oh, yeah, and with the bomb plant, Arcane Wave here can actually pretty decently buy up, but we do see a lot of the players falling early round here outside A and the playground area. We do still see a 2-on-3, so it is all possible, but they need a kill. Fatal is getting spotted, and she will just back all the way off towards B. And the thing is, now here on A, they do have 2 players, so this should be possible. And Julka needs to check all the angles. Eventually, we do see Mariah there, or Julka peeking from behind that car. And it's eventually the CTs that will make it happen. And we're already on match point.
Yeah, we are. This might be a very, very quick day for us if everything if everything keeps up, right? Like this is very, very one-sided. And like you know, I didn't know much about Arcane Wave, like I say, right? But I went and had a little look at how they did last time. I watched some stuff, and I don't know, like I was already feeling a little bit like apprehensive of them being able to win this series, but I certainly didn't expect it to be so one-sided. And the problem I'm seeing is that like DeftFox, you know, they've got all these ideas and a lot of very good ideas at that. And now they've got all this confidence and all this kind of momentum behind them. That's going to be very hard to put a stop to. But in this round, Pollen will get one. Wasn't ready for the double connector setup. And it's even like little things like that, like having two players here in con to trade and play off of one another. These were the things that were missing from Arcane Wave's CT side. You never had these moments. Well, you did at times, but a lot of the time it felt like a series of 1v1s, and they're very, very 50-50 gunfights, and that's not where you want to find yourself if you're a CT on this map. Fatal has also been so good at hitting these timings on these wrap rounds. She really does just seem to have such a good read or like understanding of where the opponents are going to be. And as I'm praising her for it, she doesn't know that Mad6 is up here in party. How could she in her defense? But she gets one. She drops the bomb. It is still a 1v3 for Elizabeth, so not an easy task. But she hears the footsteps up on A. She's beginning this rotation. And a 1v3 to try and find the map.
Oh, here we go. Is she gonna be doing it? Well, that is the first kill coming in for Elizabeth. Make that a second. And now the bomb is planted for Toilet, so you can only guess, of course, where the last player is gonna be situated. And Angie not hitting her shots, and here it is. Elizabeth flicking onto her head. And that means that is the end. It's a 16-2 here for Team DeftFox, absolutely dominating. And that, yeah, that means we're going to a next map very, very quickly.
Yeah, insanely quickly, right? And even at the end there, right? Kind of what I was saying, like all of that first half, that need to take those fights, that need to take a round and like make an example, feels like it creeps back in at the very, very end. Like there was no need to oh, I'm sat so close to the camera. There was no need to be peeking in that 1v3, right? Like, and every single player took like these one and done fights. The first one over towards the truck, it's understandable, you know, like you're hung out to dry, no one's there. But then the second two, each giving her a fight, each giving her a chance in that clutch, just feels like such a fundamental error that I don't think you can afford to make up against this DeftFox squad, because they've looked so damn good.
I mean, yesterday already Originum looked very, very promising on Overpass. Sadly, they couldn't really pull through, but it showed the potential, and today, you know, it leads to a victory. So very, very good from them, and let's see what we will do on Mirage very, very shortly. So we will go to a very short break, and after that, we will be back with our second map. So stay with us and see you soon.